Alright, we are now live on YouTube. Start streaming on Rumble. Hello, welcome, and good morning to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of our information come from the website onthisday.com and the smart device application's historical calendar and Today in History. For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below, and all links gathered throughout the show will appear post-live stream as per usual. Anyway, I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
And we will be joined by the Golden Loon here in a little bit. He's currently enjoying some breakfast, so it'll probably be like, a good 10 so odd minutes. But, of course, you viewer are you, whether you're watching us live or at some point in the time-space continuum. Thank you very much for joining us. Today is Sun's Day, aka Sunday, July 7th, 2024. So, let's start, just jump into the history here, shall we? And you're going to see some differences with the script, because I'm actually now using two sources. I know I credit three sources, but for the longest time we've been using, our primary source here is really the only source outside of anything that I've saved from previous scripts and all that stuff. But anyway, what do we got here in 1124?
1124, Tyrus surrenders to Crusaders.
Alright.
Another 1124, the city of Tyre fell to the Vietnam Crusade after the siege of 19 weeks.
Yep. See, this is what I was talking about. Like, this is why we have multiple sources, because in our main source here, it just says Tyrus surrenders to the Crusaders. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But another source gave us a little bit more meat to the story. So the city of Tyre fell to the Venetian Crusade after a siege of 19 weeks. That's a bit more substantial information right there. So that's why, I always advocate, utilize multiple sources, look at things from different points of view, because you will never get the whole story from one source. You will never get the whole story from all sources. But, at least multiple sources gives us a little bit more, stuff to work with. So
it's like there's that old saying, there's your truth, my truth, and then, there's your story, my story, and then the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So what else do we got?
1438, King Charles VII issues a pragmatic sanction of boards, stating that the General Church Council with superior power to the Pope must be held every 10 years.
Now that's interesting, because the Pope is often regarded to as, the left hand of God, the right hand being Jesus, in that religion. But, the Pope is the guy, and the concept of anybody having more power than him, as far as I'm aware of, is unfathomable, but to err is human, and the Pope is a human, so, this is a really interesting concept. Even way back then, every decade there has to be a council that has more power than the Pope to do whatever is right for the people if the Pope is going crazy. There's plenty of crazy popes out there, throughout the annals of history. But what do we got here in 1456?
1456, a retrial verdict quits Joan of Arc of heresy 25 years after her death.
Ah, gee whiz, that really helps her now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least they set it straight eventually. But Joan of Arc.
Did she have any kids?
I don't think so, because she was only 16 or 17. She was a youngin', in today's world. Yeah. And
exactly.
Yeah.
It was back in the day, so she could have popped out at least one.
Yeah, you do have a point there. I'm not sure. Let's look this up here. Did Joan of Arc have children? I really don't think she did, but let's see here. Family, Joan of Arc. Okay, what is this? Let's see. And if the
or family members alive, that would matter to them.
Well, this tells us about her parents. Alright, well, let's see here. Born, died, yada, yada, yada. There's apparently a feast. 30th of May, there's a feast to celebrate her. But I don't think she did. I don't know. I'm not going to say no, but I'm doing a really quick rundown here, but I'm not seeing anything about like family life. Yeah, no, like I don't think she does. But if anybody can like do some more like heavy research, let us know in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Tells us about her clothing. That's interesting. So definitely she is a saint. Pardon me, she is a saint. So yeah. Moving on up to 1498 here, we have the founding date of the Vienna Court Music Ensemble when Emperor Maximilian I ordered appointment of a conductor, 2 bass singers, and 6 choir boys. Later includes the Vienna Boys Choir. Huh. And that's interesting. They changed it up here from our primary source. Emperor Maximilian I orders appointment. So they just changed the wording, but say the same thing. 1520, Hernan Cortez and the TOCNS defeated a numerically superior Aztec force in the Battle of Otumba in Mexico. All right, yeah, like how does 100 men defeat an empire of millions? Well, if you've ever played Sid Meier's Civilization, technology really helps. 1534, we have European colonization of Americas. The first known exchange between Europeans and natives of the Gulf of St. Lawrence and New Brunswick. And I have from our other source here, Jacques Carter made the first contact with Aboriginal peoples in what is now Canada. So it's the same thing, just more information, different information, more meat, so to speak, as I like to say. And yeah, I wanted the loon to go to tell us about his dream. He had a dream a long time ago where he somehow was in New Brunswick. And he wanted to make a payphone call, but instead of normal coins, they had little dumbbell shaped coins. Like, you know what a dumbbell is, right? The one, but a very small version, and they're coins. It's like a 3D coin, and that was their currency. It was a weird dream, so that's why I have I wonder if they paid them with tiny dumbbell coins, as in one of my comments. But let's see here. Well, I repeated 1534 here, so let me get rid of that. What do we got here in 1550?
1550, traditional date chocolate thought to have been introduced to Europe.
Ooh. Yeah, and the Germans and the Dutch and all those guys perfected it. Have you ever had German chocolate cake?
No.
Oh, it's really good. There's coconut shavings on it.
Yeah, I don't like coconut.
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't learn. 1585, King Henry III and Duke de Guise signs Treaty of Nemours. French Huguenots lose all freedoms, abolishing tolerance to Protestants in France.
Yeah. We skipped over one not on primary source here from 10 years prior in 1575. And I thought this was interesting.
1575. Oh, 1575. The raid of Red Esquire was the last major battle between England and Scotland.
Ah. Well, that's pretty big. Talking about this the other day, England and Scotland, England and Ireland and all that stuff. Their very first conquered nations, for their empire, and now they're clinging onto it with an iron grip. What little is left, they will not let go. But what do we got here? 1647.
1647. People's uprising against high prices and Spanish rule in Naples.
Yeah. So, high pricing, all that stuff has always been a thorn in the general populace's side.
I think we need a little uprising.
Yeah, we need a
across
change.
the whole entire world.
Yeah. Definitely. So,
5% inflation, my ass.
yeah. Yeah. And here we go.
Anyways. In 1668, Isaac Newton receives M.A. from Trinity College, Cambridge.
All right. So
Sweet.
that's master's, right?
I believe so.
All right. MA is master's degree, right, Loon?
What's that?
MA degree, master's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You are?
Golden Loon.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
We've already been over when I was talking about your New Brunswick dream and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I told
I
you.
missed it.
Yeah. But it says here, like, I'll go back here really quick just to let you know.
Yeah.
1534, European colonization of the Americas, first known exchange between Europeans and natives of the Gulf of St. Lawrence and New Brunswick. But from our other source here, Jacques Carter made his first contact with Aboriginal peoples in what is now Canada.
Ah.
So Jacques Carter specifically was the guy. So yeah. We're going to move on up here to 1713. Handel's THEoD and Jubilate officially premiered in a Thanksgiving service celebrating the Treaty of Utrecht. So Thanksgiving is not just like, like we all know it as a U.S. holiday,
Right.
But this is it's more of a common term, giving thanks, Thanksgiving. We turned it into a holiday, but right here, Utrecht. I've heard about the Treaty of Utrecht and everything. 17. Here we go. The Peace of Utrecht. It was a series of peace treaties signed by the belligerents in the War of the Spanish Succession in the Dutch city of Utrecht between April 1713 and February 1715. The war involved three contenders for the vacant throne of Spain and involved much of Europe for over a decade. The main action saw France as the defender of Spain against a multinational coalition. The war was very expensive and bloody and finally stalemated. Essentially, the treaties allowed Philip V, grandson of King Louis XIV of France, to keep the Spanish throne in return for permanently renouncing his claim to the French throne, along with other necessary guarantees that would ensure that France and Spain should not merge, thus preserving the balance of power in Europe. Wow. So that's pretty significant right there, yeah.
Can you imagine if France and Spain? Woo!
Yeah, France defending Spain. Spain was leaderless. So, from the rest of Europe, yeah.
That might be a heck of an empire there.
Oh, yeah.
They joined together.
Oh, well, they're trying to do that with the European Union. Like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But 1753, British Parliament granted Jews citizenship. All right, I'm all for that. I don't know why it took so long, but yeah. But what do we got here? 1754.
1754, King's College in New York City opens, renamed to Columbia College.
Yep. Because of, like we took it from the British Crown. It was called King's College because at the time, as we know, it was in one of the colonies. And then we had our little revolution, and then we renamed it to Columbia College.
A few leaders after that.
Yep.
1798, Quasi-War. The U.S. Congress rescinds treaties with France, sparking the war. Result of the XYZ affair sparked the war.
Yep. So what is this XYZ affair? Let's see here.
What is the XYZ affair?
It was a political and diplomatic episode from 1797 to 98, early in the presidency of John Adams, involving a confrontation between the United States and Republican France that led to the Quasi-War. The name derives from the substitution of the letters X, Y, and Z for the names of French diplomats Jean Conrad Hautenegur, Pierre Bellamy, and Lucien Hadeval, respectively, for X, Y, and Z, in documents released by the Adams administration. That's right. There is this whole theory that John Adams was trying to start another revolution and make a new country within the new country.
Ah, jeez.
Like they thought he was gonna try to become the king of America because George Washington denied it. So the whole thing. Yeah. Moving on up to 1801, Toussaint Louverture declared Haitian independence. All right.
Yeah.
See, like what I say,
nice.
July is the month.
A lot of stuff happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. 1802. Why don't you take this, actually? This is
18. Comic book. 1802, first comic book, The Wasp, is published in Hudson, New York, criticizing Republican politicians.
of course. Yeah, would this have any affiliation?
It's a comic book strip.
I think this is the first like newspaper comic or something. Or
Yeah.
it's the first comic book. So let's see here. The Wasp first.
That seems like a comic book.
No,
strip.
that's the Avengers here. This is Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Wasp strikes. I'm not sure if there's. This is all Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well,
right here, but this
is
is
the first comic book, though.
Yeah, but this is well before Marvel, 1802.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm getting a bunch of Marvel crap because it's the Wasp. That's why I have this in parentheses.
It's not. I don't know. Something. We need more context to that, but yeah, it can't be the first comic book.
Well, let's see. First comic book, 1802. Let's check this out. Okay. Well, this is just giving me a bunch of comic, but we got right here the Gossip of Rivertown, the Wasp. Okay. Well, once again, if anybody knows a little bit more, let us know in the comment section. Oh, here we go. Now this is pretty big here. 1807.
1807, French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte with Russian Tsar Alexander the First meets on a raft in the middle of the Niemen River and signed the first Treaty of Tilsit.
Huh.
Hmm.
And there's another one. Like,
Yeah, 1807, the first Treaty of Tilsit. Oh, I saw the same thing. Between France and Russia was signed, ending hostilities between the two countries in the War of the Fourth Coalition.
Yeah, see, like, this is going to be my layout. Like, the first one, the first 1807 is from our main source. And then because there's so much more information and written so differently from our other source, I just put in, like, instead of the spacing, it's right on top of each other.
That's all one deal.
Yeah, so it's the same article, or same happening, but different articles, different sources.
It's a complete read. The two dates are, a complete read as one.
Yes. Oh, here we go. 1814, Walter Scott's novel Waverly was published.
Ooh.
Hey.
Didn't know my dad was that old.
Yeah. 1838, Central American Federation was dissolved. What was the Central American Federation? Well, that's kind of self-explanatory. A federation of Central American, states and whatnot. But let's see. Oops, that was the wrong button. Central American Federation. Copy. Let's just open up a whole new Ecosia. Get rid of all of this here. Clean up my tabs. Federal Republic of Central America. 1839. Oh, this is something else. Because this started in existed 1823 to 1839, and then in 1841 again. Initially known as United Provinces, the provinces of Central America was a sovereign state in Central America which existed, from 1823 to 1839 and then 1841. The Federal Republic of Central America was composed of 5 states: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, as well as a federal district from 1835 to 1839. So they were trying to they were trying to United States, essentially.
Unite.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And, I don't know, what is it with, Central and South American countries? They're all, fascist, dictatorial, despotism, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They just can't get their act together. And now, the prime candidate for Mexico's president, just killing everybody who opposes her. 36 people.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
36.
The death count.
Yeah.
And that was a couple weeks ago. It's probably even higher now if anybody else has
I
entered.
had no idea, really.
Yeah, she has killed 36 of her political opponents. She's worse than Biden because at least Biden just locks them up or tries to, But she's just killing them. So in a bad way.
The European Union was formed to unite all of Europe. To compete, so they could compete with the United States, so they'd have a bigger block of trading. They'd look at it as one. It's been a disaster, but
so is the U.S.
that was the
The consensus.
the idea. If we combine as in Europe as one, even though we have separate countries, and have a common currency, then we can compete on a world stage with the United States.
Well, that's the initial dream of the United States, is that it's not that we're just one country. We're a country comprised of other countries known as states.
Yes.
The states used to have the majority of power, and very much like the EU is to the rest of Europe, the federal government of the United States of America used to be that to the states. It's just a system of checks and balances to keep everybody on a level playing field, but for more or less everybody else, all the states had autonomy to a certain degree. Now the government is just our fucking god for whatever reason. You know, like you know, you can't do anything without their approval or disapproval or whatever. You know,
like anything else,
we need a convention.
The states, like anybody else, are companies. They go where the money is.
Yeah.
And the money has been accumulated by the federal government.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we got it off of main source here. California history, 1846. U.S. troops occupied Monterey and Yerba Buena, thus beginning the U.S. conquest of California.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and, you know, that's where we're at. You know, so you know they got it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. 1862, Land Grant Act endowed state colleges with federal land. Huh.
What?
Land Grant Act, 1862. Let's look this up here really quick, see if we can get some more context. Moral Land Grant Acts are United States statutes that allowed for the creation of land grant colleges in U.S. states using the proceeds from sales of federally owned land, often obtained from Native American tribes through treaty, cession, or seizure. The Morrill Act of 1862, later codified as yada yada yada, was enacted during the Civil War, and the other one in 1890 expanded this model. So,
and that's what I was talking about earlier. It creates power for the federal government in the long run.
Yep. So, yeah, you know, everything's always, you know, temporary. You know, taxes. You know, this, that, and the other, and then, like as you say,
the camel's nose is under the tent.
Yep. But essentially, it sounds like you know, they allocated land for state colleges.
Yes.
The government.
The federal government.
The
that's
federal
the point.
government. Yeah.
Hence, the more power becomes. To the feds.
Now, this next one in 1863 is interesting. I need to look up a little bit more about this. Orders barring Jews from serving under U.S. General Ulysses S. Grant are revoked. And I remember, I think it was his order number 1 or whatever. He disallowed Jews from serving under him, and then this is when it was revoked.
Well, so, if it was revoked, it had to be there. That's stunning to me.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. That's absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, like there definitely is a lot of hatred, you know, towards, you know, those people, you know, but it takes two to tango, but it takes one to start, you know. So like, you know, where does it all stem from? You know, it can't always, you know, just out of nowhere, like So, you know,
doesn't fall from the sky.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, the way they make it sound is as if like everybody is just like, for no reason, oh, let's just start hating these people. Oh, I'll join you. Over thousands of years, across thousands of miles, like, you know, telepathy. Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
But
you know,
the bottom line is
on.
they have been the most persecuted culture ever.
Yeah. Now, what's really interesting is, you know, with all of these, you know, like the political movements, like, you know, the we was kangs and shit, you know, type thing. Like, you know, the black community saying that, you know, that they were the pharaohs of Egypt and all that stuff.
Okay.
Then wouldn't they have been the slave owners of the Jews, you know, before Moses? So, you know, like, you know, that brings up a whole nother conversation right there. But what do we got here in 1863? Another
1863.
Off of the
The
main
United
source.
States began its first military draft. Exemptions cost $300.
Yeah.
You can buy your way out.
Yeah.
That's convenient. All the rich people can afford not to go.
There you go.
Almost, you know, that's the same way how it is today, you know? Like what?
How much is that?
Yeah.
How much is that today?
Let's see here. $7,477.83 today. So, man, you can barely buy a car for that.
Would
It'd
you?
be a pretty old car.
Would you pay it? Crowd?
No.
Anybody?
I don't even have that much to pay, but even if I did,
You're. Well, I don't got it either, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to war. So.
Well, you
I
know,
thought it'd be more money than that. That's funny.
yeah. You know, Sir King, you're my friend, and I love you with all my heart. But if you were a troop on the front line, I would have very little hope. Like,
No.
if we get no.
Talking about throwing him under the bus.
Well, no, I'm in the same spot. Like,
Let me just say that. Let me say this.
Oh,
I'm not ponying up for either one of you.
well, can I
There's
send
gonna
you
be
in my stead?
tons of medical expenses for the military.
But yeah, but I mean, like, you know, like you know,
That's just me doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, you're not the soldierly type. I didn't say what I said, you know, out of any
No.
But you're not the soldierly type. But if you're the ones that we're sending out there, then we're in trouble. So same with me, you know, like. But what
Send
else?
out the disabled. Fuck it.
What else do we got here?
1865, Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, David Harold, and George Altzerolt are executed for their role in the conspiracy to assassinate the U.S. President Abraham Lincoln.
All right, and we see we have a picture here of a multi-person gallows, 4 people. Just, you know, hanging by the neck till you are dead. So.
Oh yeah.
A whole faction out there that want him dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a whole faction out there that wants either side, you know, dead today. You know, arrested, imprisoned, deposed. You know, whatever it is. You know, like I would argue. You know, now I am a historian, but I am not like, you know, a really good historian. But I would argue that the nation today is even more divided than when it was back in the Civil War.
Like, I don't know about that.
Well, you know, back in those
division
times,
is division.
Division is division, but to what degree?
We're definitely circling back around.
I mean, like,
I'll give you that.
It was brother against brother, and I've been ostracized from both sides of my family for political reasons, one reason or another, be it the vaccine or not being a Trump supporter, this or that. Like, those are the primary reasons, you know. So it's the same thing. Like, the family is divided. You know, once you get the family.
Being it's extremely divided now, and it was extremely divided then.
Yeah.
You just can't gauge it really.
Yeah, but the difference between then and now is back then people had the balls to do something about it. You know, they stood up and they fought for what they believed. Nowadays, everybody just hides behind a keyboard. You know, nobody has any guts. But what do we got here in 1875? Speaking of guts.
1875, Jesse James robs train in Otterville, Missouri.
Huh. All right. 1876, we have the Hamburg Massacre. White farmers attacked a black militia in Hamburg, South Carolina, killing 7.
Whoa.
Or not killing, but 7 people are killed. So, you know,
yeah.
I don't think all 7 are from one side. I think that's a total of 7. I don't know. Well, we can look this up, the Hamburg Massacre, see if there were casualties on both sides. But yeah, it's like, you know, that's
a massacre. It usually generally means one side.
Yeah. Oh wow, no. The whites they lost 1 and the blacks lost 6.
Okay.
So.
It wasn't all one side.
Yeah. So yeah, so
that's
you know,
good.
there. Well,
nothing's good, but yeah.
But yeah. And I was thinking, like, you know, like what were the blacks militiaing? But it's, you know, look at the year 18. Well.
Yeah.
That. Why were they militiaing? This is way after the Civil War, by like 10 years. So.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of problems. The blacks are still having a lot of problems.
Definitely. But why was there a black militia?
I don't know.
Why was there any militia? You know, like, why was there any militia in 1870? Black, white, brown, purple, turquoise, yellow,
They're not
whatever.
telling us the fundamental reason for the battle there.
Yeah.
They're not telling us that part.
Well, not from our source, but,
right.
You know, from the wiki it'll probably tell us. So if anybody's interested, you can find it, you know, the way I found it here. But, moving on up to 1891, Marcellus F. Berry, a U.S. Express, or an American Express employee, was granted 4 copyrights for what he called the Traveler's Check. And this alludes to the concept that the employer could lay claim to his creation, and you know that was a real problem. Like if you're the employee of something, you know, like because what's his face, Thomas Alva Edison did this all the time. Thomas Edison didn't invent shit. Everybody underneath
biggest
him.
Piece of
Yeah. I mean, you know,
right in history.
Same with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't invent shit. Everybody underneath him did. He took the credit because he was the guy paying the check, and then he goes down in history as the inventor of you know, Apple, of the Macintosh, of iTunes, of the iPhone, of the iPod, of the iPad. He didn't invent any of that shit. He just cracked the whip, and he gets the credit. That's crap, you know? So, you know, I wonder, you know, if this is like, you know, like on the other side of the coin, if his employer actually allowed him to have credit for his creation, you know?
Well, back in the day, Ronald Reagan was the president of the Actors Guild. And in those days, you got paid for doing your movie or your sitcom or whatever it was, and that was it.
Okay.
You never get paid for anything else.
So you don't get paid for syndication, for any of that?
You never got a dime.
residuals.
Now, and he said, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
They're the creator of that.
Yeah.
They should share in, you know, ongoing stuff as it goes. So because of him, they now get residuals.
Good.
Yeah, of
they
course
should.
good. Yeah.
You know, if anything that you're involved in sells, then you should be getting a cut.
Yeah.
Period. You know.
Your niece is a benefit of that. She was a
I have a niece.
Yes, of course. You have.
Who's my niece?
I'm not going to say. She did us on.
I know.
Magnum PI was a TV show. She did a little spot shot or something. She gets like $1.95 a year whenever it comes back on. She gets something. She's made something.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
She goes, I got my acting residual check.
Nice.
$1.95.
Whatever it is. I mean, it changes from year to year depending on how many times they played it.
Yeah. Well, in today's economy, you can almost buy a gumball with that. Gee whiz.
You can't go
I'd
to
start
Starbucks.
framing them and put them in a room.
Yeah.
And just cover the walls.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I still
See, I'm
had a,
famous. I
Yeah.
have proof.
I wish I took a picture. I think I did of the check I got from way back in the day when I got $100 some odd from YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Like technically, I am a professional YouTuber because I have made money on it. That was way
Thanks.
back in the day.
That's,
You know.
unfortunately,
but-
they changed all the rules.
Well,
That's
all
a
of that
shame.
is completely different. So
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, let's move on up here to 1892. Katipunan, the revolutionary Philippine Brotherhood, was established, leading to the fall of the Spanish Empire in Asia. And we have the Katipunan was established, the discovery of which by Spanish authorities initiated the Philippine Revolution. So they had a revolt, and then they went independent from Spain, Philippines,
Yeah.
and now they answer to us. Which I think we got them during the Spanish-American War, actually. 1898, U.S. President McKinley signed the Organic Act to annex Hawaii as a territory, also known as the Newlands Resolution. So, this is when, you know, one of the steps on the way to statehood, like,
Yeah.
you know, where, and as I've mentioned many times before, you know, the atrocities that we did, the little shenanigans, like, we had King Kamehameha II sign away his sovereignty because he didn't know English. He didn't know how to read what he was signing. And we told him, oh, this does this, that, and the other. You know, oh, okay, cool, sign it. Oh, haha, psych, now we own you. What? Oh, damn, you know? Like, evil. So, what do we got here in 1900? I love this team name. I don't know why it's not around. This is a great team name. Bless you.
1900 Boston Beaneaters pitchers Kid Nichols notches his 300th career MLB victory with a 11-4 win over Chicago Orphans.
Oh, that's another. Oh my God, the names of this team. Can you imagine being on a team called the Orphans? And like,
Oh,
It's pretty
boy.
sad, yeah.
and oh, my brain is so screwed up. So
That's an
imagine
unfortunate name.
imagine joining, joining the team called the Orphans. And it's like, oh, hey, welcome to the team. Let's take care of your parents.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Only you would go that way. Only you.
you gotta live up to the name.
Oh, man. Now you're one of us.
Well, now you can't be traded. You know, we got you. But no, Bean Eaters, what a name. And Kid Nichols, that was the name of Flapjack's antagonist or whatever in one episode of Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjacks. You know, this kid called Kid Nichols.
Really?
And then
Yeah.
he goes on to beat up a fly with his toes. It's a weird show. So, and here we go. We got an Arizona heat record up until '94 at least.
Oh, wow. 1905, 127 Fahrenheit. Parker's only state record till 1994. Oh my God.
That is high.
Probably no air conditioning either. Not probably. In 1904?
No, 1905, no AC.
No.
When was AC invented, actually? When was AC invented? It's probably going to come with... Oh, here we go, air conditioning. Let's see here. Very popular, blah, blah. Okay, 1955.
Whoa,
The
really?
window-mounted air conditioner, 1955.
They had it before then, though, I think. Like swamp coolers and things.
Yeah, but would that be considered air conditioning?
Sure.
Like,
It's a type of air conditioning.
Well, actually, hold on a second. In 1558, Giambattista della Porta described a method of chilling ice to temperatures far below its freezing point by mixing it with potassium nitrate, which was called nitrate back then, in his popular science book Natural Magazine. 1620, Cornelius Drebbel demonstrated turning summer into winter for James I of England, chilling part of the Great Hall of Westminster Abbey with an apparatus through of troughs and vats. So we can ascribe AC to as far back as 1558, you know, in its most rudimentary, primitive form. 1758, Benjamin Franklin and John Hadley, a chemistry professor at Cambridge, conducted experiments applying the principles of evaporation as a means to cool an object rapidly.
That would be a swamp cooler.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, there you go. 1908, U.S. Navy's Great White Fleet left San Francisco Bay. Great White Fleet was a show of strength. It was like, you know, a fleet of military warships painted white, the Great White.
Yeah.
But they had it circumnavigate the entire planet. It was like a worldwide parade showing the entire world our naval prowess.
Gotcha.
Like, and actually you'll see a Great White Fleet images. Like, there's one picture that I'm trying to find it. Something along the lines of this. Like, you know, it's, you know, a bunch of warships, they're painted white, you know, for easy visibility. It's like, look at us, you know, we are the United States.
All the white does...
It does pop.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly right.
Oh, yeah. 1911, the United States, United Kingdom, Japan, and Russia signed the North Pacific First Seal Convention of 1911. This is off of main source, by the way. Banning open water seal hunting, the first international treaty to address wildlife preservation issues. And you think with... here's the photo I wanted to show you, actually. The Great White Fleet. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't scroll down enough. So, yeah, like, you know, a show of force. But, yeah, you'd think with this being, you know, we've proven it, you know, beyond the shadow of a doubt that our primary source is notoriously leftist. We go from 1908 to 1912. It doesn't even talk about this. You'd think that they'd want to talk about the first, you know, anti-killing animal law.
Yeah.
You know, like, but nope, not to mention nothing. That's kind of disheartening.
And the first thing out of your white fleet I saw when you just scrolled it, oh, look at all the crap they're putting in the air.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first thing I saw. Yeah, great.
Oh, yeah, no.
Let's do this worldwide.
People like Taylor Swift, you know, talking about, oh, you gotta reduce your carbon emissions. Meanwhile, she flies her private jet like 400 times a year or something crazy. Seriously. Like,
oh, well, they'll what is it called? Carbon offset or something?
Yeah, they just buy their carbon offsets.
That's a joke.
You're still spewing crap into the air.
That's like everybody's drafted unless you pay $300. It's the same thing.
Or $7,000 a day.
Well, yeah, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. 100% agree. But hey, we got some athletic stuff here. 1912, Sir King.
1912, American athlete Jim Thorpe wins 4 of 5 events to win the pentathlon gold medal at the Stockholm Olympics. Medal stripped in 1913. Why?
For
played pro baseball. Reinstated in 1982.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So, well, because the Olympics actually, it used to be amateur athletes.
Yes.
And because
not too long ago.
Yeah, because he played professional baseball, he's a professional athlete. He waives his right to be recognized in the Olympics, which were amateur.
Yeah.
So he lost his medal.
Oh.
Yeah. But then, it was reinstated in 1982 because I believe that has to be around the time where things flipped to where we know him today.
Well, what happened was that all the U.S. athletes went on to be professionals. In Russia, you were not a professional, but you were totally supported by the government.
Yeah, they're
so it was their system supported their athletes.
Yeah.
But they weren't considered professional. They go, this is not an even playing field.
Well, because in Soviet Russia, you could not be a professional because that would imply a whole different type of economy. You can't in communism, you cannot be a professional.
Right.
Because the term professional, as I said earlier, I am technically a professional YouTuber because what's the difference between practicing something and being a professional, getting paid for it?
Yeah.
And then that's why, whenever I see, the term, doctors practice medicine, I'd rather have a professional. I want somebody who's done it enough to get paid. I don't want them to practice on my ass, Like what are you, some kind of amateur? No, I want a professional. So, yeah. But we got some more sports here in 1914. By the way, Loon. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, Loon's on camera, so I was moving my camera here. If you don't want to.
1914, Baltimore Orioles owner Jack Dunn offers future baseball legend Babe Ruth, Ernie Shore, and Ben Egan for $10,000 to Connie Mack, Philadelphia A's. Refuses, pleading lack of finance.
So he couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So he offered to sell him 3 people for $10,000.
Yeah.
So, all right.
1915, a great gorge in the International Railroad trolley with an extreme overload of 157 passengers crashes near Queenston, Ontario, killing 15.
Yikes. I believe that's what sparked, regulations and stuff.
Yeah.
It was overloaded, it crashed, people died. Well, maybe because the mass was too big. Let's have a limit, on how many people can get on this vehicle so it doesn't careen and kill others again.
I forget which comedy does a thing about these ferries that they just put as many as they can get on there.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Don't you have a clicker?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
50, no, Panette.
Panette, yeah, that sounds about right.
Don't you have a clicker?
But yeah, but
and oh my, what a surprise! It sunk.
But there's this one comedian, Sam Kingston. It's 2 minutes long. He does this whole bit. Let me play a little bit of it here.
And very depressed and. Stop sending them food. Don't send these people another bite, folks. You want to send them something? You want to help? Send them U-Hauls. Send them U-Hauls, some luggage. Send them a guy out there that goes, hey, we've been driving out here every day with your food for like the last, 30, 40 years. And we were driving out here today across the desert, and it occurred to us there wouldn't be world hunger if you people would live where the food is! You live in a fucking desert! Nothing grows out here! Nothing's gonna grow out here! You see this? Huh? See this? This is sand. Yeah. It's sand. You know it's gonna be 100 years from now, huh? It's gonna be sand!
Yeah, he makes a point. You want to end world hunger? Move out of the desert! Yeah. Go where the food is! Seriously! Sam Kingston, very intelligent with that bit right there. So, moving on up to 1915, Colombo Town Guard Officer Henry Pedris was executed in British Ceylon for allegedly inciting persecution of Muslims. Don't persecute people. Simple.
Yeah.
Especially, if you're an area, that's being colonized, you know, and you're where you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then now you're trying to go against the indigenous people. Are you stupid?
Hmm.
You know, like.
It's been done before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're moving in. Oh, and you're moving out. What?
Yeah. 1919, Philadelphia Phillies tie MLB record of 8 steals in an innings, 9th in a 10-5 loss versus New York Giants. Wow,
That's a bunch.
but 10-5 loss. So they were at 1 to something, and then they stole 9 bases. So 90% of their
Stealing
score.
a base doesn't give you a run.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, you can.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you're
first,
stealing a
second.
base. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking stealing home, like. All right. See, my baseball, I'm so ignorant, of sports. So, 1923, Cleveland Indians set an American League record 27 runs, including 13 in the 6th, to win 27 versus 3 win versus Boston Red Sox. Well, there you go, points. 27 runs. Wow. That's incredible.
That is a lot.
And 27 to 3, they got their teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
So. But what do we got here? Another 1923.
1923, University of Delaware invents junior year abroad at Sorbonne.
Would that be, let's see here, 1923, exchange program? Like, the roots, study abroad. Okay, yeah, so so you go somewhere else and you study. Studying abroad. This is the beginning of studying abroad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, University of Delaware.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool stuff. What else do we got? Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Big one.
1928, sliced bread sold for the first time by Soap Baking Company, Missouri, using the machine invented by Otto Frederick Rothwetter, described as the greatest forward step in baking industry since bread was wrapped.
Yeah.
Inventor's 48th birthday. Chillicothe Banking Company of Chillicothe, Missouri.
Yeah.
All right,
Have
sliced
you ever
bread.
tried to slice a loaf of bread? It's a pain in the ass. Not all at once, but just for a sandwich or something, it's a pain in the ass. Because you get a little off, then the next one's going to be off, and away you go.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, trust me.
Well, I know. Like, I've experienced that with slicing cheese.
There you go, yeah.
And I'm not talking about farting.
Oh, God.
I mean, if you fart and something's left behind, then you have a problem. That's not a fart anymore. That's a shart. So, but yeah, no, it was on his 48th birthday, the inventor and everything.
Yeah.
And see, we sit here, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, that's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, what was the saying before that? Oh, it was the greatest thing since bread was wrapped.
It could be.
Well, no, that's what it said. Like, forward step in the baking industry since bread was wrapped. So I wonder if that was, the saying. Like, and here we go, another big one. And I've been to this dam.
1930, construction begins on Boulder Hoover Dam. Industrialist Henry K. Kaiser.
All right.
You've been in it, not
Kaiser?
just on it.
Yeah. I've been in it.
Yeah. Check the turbines out, everything.
Nice.
Turbines. Just
Never been to it.
Spinning turbines, like the Indian headwear, just like, actually, let's see, turbine. Let's see if there's an image, like a stupid. No, I'm getting turbines. I was expecting to see a poorly photoshopped turbine in the place of a turbine, And yeah, oh well. Anyway, 1936, U.S. businessman Henry F. Phillips received patents for a new crossed recess screw, and the new screwdriver needed to make it work. So, the invention of the Phillips screw and screwdriver.
Yeah.
Before that, it was always flathead, or maybe a star or something, I don't know. And now there's so many different, types of screws and everything. And, let's not forget Apple, has a proprietary screw and screwdriver, so that way, you cannot do any repairs yourself. You're forced to pay a premium and use them to repair your, the whole thing is a freaking scam. Louis Rossmann. Anybody watching this, go check out Louis Rossmann. he'll bring you up to speed with how horrible Apple is. 1936 as well, RCA showed the first real TV program, dancing, film on locomotives, Bonwit Teller fashion show, and monologue from Tobacco Road and comedy. So, the actual television program.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Moving on up, what do we got here in 1937? We got 2 articles of the same thing.
1937, Japanese and Chinese troops clash at the Marco Polo Bridge, beginning the Second Sino-Japanese War. The Marco Polo Bridge incident, Lugao Bridge, provided the Imperial Japanese Army with a pretext for starting the Second Sino-Japanese War, China-Japan War.
Yeah, the
Go ahead.
Marco Polo Bridge. Marco Polo!
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom! Found you. What were you going to say, Lou?
No, I was just going to say that's in conjunction with World War II.
Oh, well, yeah, leading up to it. Yeah, that's, Japan and but that's the Sino, that war kind of melded into World War II. Like,
yes,
it kind of
that's
became,
what I'm saying,
yeah.
in conjunction.
Yeah. But World War II didn't officially start until Germany and Russia invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939. But yeah, good poll, 1937. You're 100% right. So, we got another 37 here.
1937, the Peel Commission report recommended the partition of Palestine, which was the first formal recommendation for partition in history of Palestine.
So as far back as 1937, they were trying to shoehorn Israel into existence. It looks like
I don't know.
They're trying to partition. They're trying to partition Palestine.
Yeah.
So,
but not for the Jews. I think they're partitioning it from Egypt and Jordan, if anything.
I don't know.
There's no concept of Israel. Nothing. Not in 37. No.
I don't know. Here we go. This is disgusting. 1941.
1941, Nazis execute 5,000 Jews in Kovano, Lithuania. Ew.
Absolutely abysmal. We got another 1941 here. Actually, you got
1941, U.S. forces land on Iceland to forestall the Nazi invasion. The U.S. occupation of Iceland replaced the UK's occupation.
Yeah, so right here, our primary source, suggests that we went in there and just occupied it to, as a buffer between Nazi Germany and ourselves. But what it doesn't tell us on our primary source that we figured out from one of our secondaries is that we were going in there to occupy it because the UK was pulling out. They needed all hands on deck because, they were, in the war.
Yeah.
Especially, this is 1941. It was still another, 3-4 months before Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, December.
So, yeah. Before, our validation to get in. So, Britain was already, well into the war. Battle of Britain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
France had been conquered the year before. So, so they needed all their troops. So they pulled out and we came in. But, if anybody just watching, one source, they would not have a clue about that. And see, this is why I, once again, use multiple sources, get multiple points of view. I say this all the time. Never, ever, under any circumstances, take my word or anyone's word as gospel. If anything, use this as a springboard for your own self-education. Figure it out yourself, So, but one more 1941, and then I'll move us up to... Actually, you can take 42 as well. It's baseball if you want, but it's up to you.
Alright, 1941, World War II. Beirut is occupied by Free France and British troops.
Alright, Beirut, over by Lebanon. Or something. Or is Lebanon in Beirut? Is Lebanon a city or a country? A country, right?
Beirut's a city.
Beirut's a city.
Yeah,
okay.
Lebanon.
In Lebanon. Okay, so I had it backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Shows how much I know.
Used to be a Christian country.
Yeah.
Lebanon.
Well, so did that whole area during the Crusades.
Well, I'm going back into recent history. I'm going back into maybe 50 years ago.
Yeah, before everybody got pushed out because of Israel. So.
No.
Yeah.
Not the case. They took in Palestinian refugees.
That's what I'm saying. Israel came in, made the Palestinians refugees in their own lands, and then forced them out. So, but 1942, do you want to take this one since it's baseball?
1942 baseball military all-star team, including Bob Feller, loses to American League All-Star 5-0.
Yep.
Bump, bump.
Yeah. Well, that's because the military, they're not spending all year round practicing baseball. They're fighting.
Yeah.
They're out of practice, so of course they're going to lose. To actual professional baseball players. 1944, Royal Air Force Bomber Command dropped 2,572 tons of bombs on Caen in France. That's a lot of bombs. 2,572 tons? Tons. That's a lot of bombs right there.
A lot of tonnage.
Yeah. 1944 as well, during World War II, the largest Banzai charge of the Pacific War at the Battle of Saipan.
Banzai.
Banzai. What is a Banzai charge? Because you, Loon, you were asking me about this. Like, what is Banzai?
The actual word mean.
Banzai charge or Banzai attack.
I know what it is,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that word translates to in English.
Well, it translates to whatever that is. So, but it is a term that was used by the Allied forces of World War II. So
Yeah.
it's an English creation of the word.
Right.
So we labeled it the Banzai charge. It referred to the Japanese human wave attacks and swarming staged by infantry units. It's essentially what became known as a Zerg rush. This term came from the Japanese battle cry, Ten Niohieka Banzai, which translates to "Long live His Majesty the Emperor." Oh,
There you go.
and was
They're running to their death.
yeah, and was
Charging to their death.
Yep, and was shortened to Banzai, specifically referring to the tactic used by the Imperial Japanese Army during the Pacific War. This tactic was used with the Japanese when the Japanese commanders of infantry battalions foresaw that a battle was about to be lost as a last-ditch effort to thwarting Allied forces. So it was, all or nothing. This is it,
And then they started using with their
kamikazes, the aircraft, and all that stuff. Well, that was something else, like
same idea is what I'm saying.
kind of, sorta, yeah. So, but yeah, the largest Banzai charge in history. Frightening. 1946, Mother Frances Xavier Cabrini, Catholic nun, the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, canonized as the first American saint. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And here we go. We have an off of main source here. 1946.
1946, Mother of Frances Xavier Caprini, Catholic nun, Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, canonized as first American saint.
The one after that.
46, Howard Hughes nearly died of his XF-11 reconnaissance aircraft prototype crashed into Beverly Hills neighborhood. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie The Aviator?
Yes.
I believe this incident is a scene in that movie.
It is, yes.
Okay.
It is.
So.
Wow.
So it crashed. He survived, but can you imagine just sitting there and then all of a sudden a plane is in your living room? It's like, oh, hello,
Of course, it
Mr.
wasn't
Hughes.
populated like it is today up there.
Yeah.
Plenty of homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beverly Hills. Huh. Oh, here we go. A big one. Very big one.
1946. Oh, wait. 47, sorry. Alleged of this disputed Roswell UFO incident.
Yes. So all of you out there who are interested in the UFOlogy, I partake in, that intrigue myself from time to time. This is when it started.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
There were, other UFO sightings, and this is not the first UFO incident in the United States, but this is really what, because the whole cover-up, and then they're saying, oh, it was a weather balloon and all that stuff. And then they turn around and what it actually was, or, on the official, it was a spy balloon to spy on Russia, or whatever in 1947. Like during right before the outbreak of the Cold War. When people took Patton's word to heart, we were fighting the wrong side. Yeah. So, which reminds me, actually, let's see if I can find it really quick. I hope I saved it here. Here it is, right here. Oh, oops, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to just open it in browser. But this is his actual quote. Quote, "Gentlemen, I have come this morning to the inexcusable conclusion that we have fought on the wrong side. This entire war we should have fought with the fascists against the communists and not the other way around. I fear that perhaps in 50 years America will pay a dear price and become a land of corruption and degenerate morals." End quotes. General George S. Patton, July 21st, 1945. 100% right.
He called it.
100% right on the money. I mean, I'm not for siding with fascists. I think we should have fought both of them.
Yeah, true.
But, I mean, look at us now. 50 plus years later, we're turning into the Soviet Union. We essentially are. So. Anyway, let's restart our music here really quick. Moving on up to 1948, 6 female reservists became the first women sworn into regular U.S. Navy. All right.
All right.
All right, women in the Navy.
Yeah.
So, now, if you go to the Navy, you don't just see men, you see women.
Boo.
Come
Boo,
on,
boo,
that was a
boo,
good
boo.
joke.
Well, were they in the women's branch, the Waves, or whatever they were called?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
The Waves?
Something like that.
Women's branch of the Navy. Women's branch of the Navy.
No.
Let's see if.
Well, maybe I'm all wet. Who knows?
Well, they are. They're in the Navy.
I thought they had the name the Waves. Maybe it was a nickname or
The
something.
Waves. I don't know. That's going to require some digging to figure. Here we go. Waves. You're right. Main article. Waves. Women reserve. So women accepted for volunteer emergency service. Waves. So that's what it stands for.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it had a. Yeah. Okay.
Well, of course it's government.
Of course it had to. I never thought of that.
Yeah, no, it all stands. Like everything stands for something. So WAVES, women accepted for volunteer emergency service. Waves.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they weren't drafted. They volunteered.
Well, so we both learned something new from something you brought up.
Yeah.
Thank you. 1948 as well, Cleveland Indians stunned Major League Baseball by signing 42-year-old veteran N League's pitcher Satchel Paige.
Ooh, yeah.
Satchel Paige.
Yeah.
Yes. And I knew immediately the picture. The guy kissing the baseball.
Probably, it's only a guess, but he could have been potentially one of the all-time great pitchers of all time.
If it wasn't for segregation.
Yeah. But you'll never know, because he actually finally got, when it desegregated,
he was too old.
He's really old. He still played. He still pitched and did well.
Yeah.
Especially at his age.
That's that's really unfortunate. that there was segregation and all that stuff. But hey, at least it's over.
Yeah.
Thank God.
You're not kidding.
1950, the first Farnborough Air Show was held. So if anybody's been to a Farnborough Air Show, if they're even still around, this is when they started.
Yeah.
We also have the Korean War. United Nations Secretary General established the United Nations Command to combat North Korean forces. And that's the thing, people don't really realize. When you talk about World War I, World War II, it was directly the U.S.'s involvement. Like, it was directly countries involved in everything.
Yeah.
Korea is the first time a non-country entity had supreme command, because it wasn't the U.S. and South Korea fighting North Korea. It was the United Nations fighting North Korea. It was, it was a United Nations, a coalition,
Yeah.
And we had a coalition during the first Gulf War and all that stuff. Back in the 90s, we call them the coalition. We did the same thing with Operation Enduring
But the
Freedom.
U.S. was a driving force. They were the
Yes,
bulk
of course. But it wasn't the U.S. Army and the South Korean Army versus the North Korean Army. It was the United Nations versus North Korea.
Yeah.
So.
But they weren't actually divided, but they were divided by political beliefs.
Yeah. Anyway, 1952, the SS United States crossed Atlantic in a record 82 hours and 40 minutes. I assume it has to be, that's not 82 minutes. Right. You're not crossing the Atlantic in an hour and change.
No.
So actually, no. Yeah.
I don't even think the Concorde could do that.
No, but I think there is an article about aircraft flying over in a record. But I think we'll get to that here in a minute. But we have some more meat here. The ocean liner USS United States passed Bishop Rock on her maiden voyage, breaking the transatlantic speed record to become the fastest passenger ship in the world. All right.
Yeah.
That's why another example, this is just a little nothing article here, but there's so much more to it. So,
yeah.
1953, Che Guevara, his actual name is Ernesto Guevara. Che is a nickname.
Oh.
So Ernesto Che Guevara set out on a trip through Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, and El Salvador. And what a lot of people don't realize is he was an awful, disgusting, despicable human being. Murderer. And people idolize him. They have a shirt with his, they have no idea. No iota of a fathom of a clue of what the hell they're supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're stupid.
Idiots.
But what do we got here in 1954?
1954, British runner Jim Peters, 17 minutes ahead of any rival, collapses on the final stadium lap of the Commonwealth Games Marathon in Vancouver. Oh.
Yeah, he had a hell of a lead, but, he put all of his chips in one basket. He didn't pace himself, and he ended up losing. You had a 17-minute lead, and then you're exhausted.
Ran out of gas.
You got to pace yourself. So, you have a lead of about that much. You can stop, take a break, collect yourself, and then when you see somebody, then you can start going again. Keep pace, stay ahead of them. There's no need to have 17 minutes. That's ridiculous. Put way too much energy into it. Here we go. 1958.
1958, President Eisenhower signed a bill approving Alaska Statehood Act into law.
Yep. All right. And this, I need to look this up. What this means.
1959, Venus occults the star Regulus. This rare event was used to determine the diameter of Venus and the structure of Venus and atmosphere.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Like occults, occultation. Let's see. An occultation is an event that occurs when when one object is hidden from the observer by another object that passes between them. The term is often used in astronomy, but it can also refer to any situation in which an object in the foreground blocks from view, occults an object in the background. In this general sense, occultation applies to the visual scene observed from low-flying aircraft or computer-generated imagery, when foreground objects obscure distant objects dynamically as the scene changes over time. Huh. All right.
Never heard of that before.
So basically now my hand is occulting your face. Essentially.
Yeah, true.
Huh. Yes, the view, bad view, good view.
You like that, didn't you?
But yeah, but that's, think about it. It occults the star Regulus, and that's obviously not our star, so it occults another star, and they use that to determine the width of a planet and its atmosphere. That is, the things people figure out how to figure out,
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Way above my pay grade.
Yeah. What else do we got here?
1962, Bill Hartack becomes 8th jockey to win 3,000 American thoroughbred races.
Dang.
A lot.
Impressive.
Very impressive.
Yep. We got an off of main source article here.
1962, Bill Hartack becomes 8th jockey to win. Wait.
You literally just read
that. I literally just read that. 1963, Buddhist crisis. Police commanded by Geo Ding New brother of chief political advisor of the South Vietnam President Ngo Dinh, attacked a group of U.S. journalists who were covering a protest. Oof.
So essentially, like, in comparison, the brother of the president attacked foreign journalists. That's not going to go over too well.
No.
No, whoopsie. Like, especially if they're on your side. Uh-oh. Not a good move there.
Yeah. Not a good move.
And now we got a really good article. You'll understand why I'm saying that.
1965, Otis Redding records the song Respect at Stack Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. It later becomes a signature piece of Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
I didn't know I thought she was the original artist.
Nope.
Or I assumed.
Nope, it was Otis Redding.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Aretha Franklin, really good singer.
Yeah, of course.
You're the one who introduced me to her, introduced me to Janis Joplin, all that stuff.
The old timers.
Yeah. And here we go.
And you still got to look up Rod Stewart.
Yes.
Totally different, but you'd enjoy some of his music.
Pardon me, 1966, an obscenity ban for Naked Lunch by William S. Burroughs overturned by the Massachusetts Supreme Court after testimony by Allen Ginsberg and Norman Mailer. So, Naked Lunch, obviously a book or something, and they're trying to ban it from, via obscenity. Like,
yeah.
As soon as, it's a slippery slope. Where's the line? As soon as you ban one...
Famous, especially in Mailer, really famous authors.
Yeah. As soon as you ban one book for obscenity, what's the next one?
Well,
and
that's
then...
the point.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the only book that should be banned is a Necronomicon.
I'm not familiar with it.
It's an occult book, and it summons demons and all that stuff. But I mean, for awful how it is, Mein Kampf should not be banned. Read the words of evil and see, how things, where evil starts. How does the idea, grow to fruition? If you can find it where it starts, before it grows into something big, then you can, prevent it. And if you don't learn from history, if you refuse to learn something because it's evil or it led to something bad or it's icky or you just don't like it, well then you're just willfully ignorant.
Yep.
So, yeah. 1967, the Beatles released a single, All You Need Is Love, Love. All you need is love. And all you do need is love,
And a couple guns.
Yeah, wow.
Some
That
guns.
sound like me. Wow. I felt the breath release from my lungs as you stole the word. and a couple guns. Yeah, you do need some of those. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you also want, a knife. So, yeah.
Machete.
Yeah, well, that's not a knife.
That's not a
I
knife.
guess it's a knife. 1968, the rock group Yardbirds disbanded.
That's the year they disbanded, huh?
Yeah. And why is it not? Oh, that's weird. Here we go. They gave me. They changed it. All right. So right here from our main source, the British rock group Yardbirds disbanded. Guitarist Jimmy Page recruits new members to fill concert commitments. The new group evolves into Led Zeppelin. I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't?
The Yardbirds became Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to tell us the history behind the name Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, well, they went into studio, Page and whoever he formed it with, and they didn't have a name. And they were, cutting some tracks, see how they had sound, not necessarily sell it, but demos.
Yeah.
So they could promote it, and someone comes in and says, this music's going to go over like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
Hence the name Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Now, in that same thought, I know that you don't know, but King, you know about the band Daft Punk?
Yeah.
Do you know how they got the name Daft Punk?
No.
Kind of the same thing. They were, demoing it and everything, trying to, I don't know exactly how, but like somebody said, or some pompous British guys, like, oh, this just sounds like a bunch of Daft Punk, like punk music.
Yeah.
And, like Daft isn't stupid. Like, oh, this just sounds like some stupid punk. Oh, Daft Punk, that's a great name. And there you go. And now they split up, right? Like, Daft Punk is no longer a thing anymore. They split up.
Tell you.
So, but, they were behind the soundtrack of Tron Legacy, the newer Tron movie.
Oh, new one. I haven't seen that.
Yeah. It's okay. Like... moving on up, what do we got here? 1969, Canada's House of Commons approved equality of French-English language. Okay. Well, how come Canada's ahead of us on the national language game? That's bogus.
Well, they've had 2 national languages up there.
Well, I know, but like we don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have.
Why should we? We should have one. We don't have any.
Yeah, we should have something. I'm all for freedom, but what really boils my biscuits is knowing that there's a city out in, like, I think New Mexico, and it's entirely populated by Mexican immigrants, and the city itself, the official language of the city is Spanish. You're on our soil, you jackasses. You immigrated to this country, and you're taking over.
And it is official because there's no state or federal.
Yeah. And that's
language.
what really pisses me off. They come over here and they're not integrating. They're taking over. Granted, I understand that this used to be their land, but now they're taking it back over. I hear about the story in Mexico City. There's so many white people moving there that they have their own little whitey town, over there, and they're pissed over there. It's like, about time you got what you've been given to us for the past 30 years. I just laugh at that. You get what you give. So. Anyway, another 1969 here. German newspaper Der Spiegel revealed Bishop de Freger of Munich is a war criminal. Okay. So, ousting him. Moving on up, we got some of the Bowie Kuhn. I don't know why I love saying that name, but
it's actually pronounced Kuhn.
Oh, well.
Bowie Kuhn.
Well, thank you for destroying,
something
I enjoyed.
I am so sorry.
No, you're not.
No.
What do we got here? 71.
Thank you for destroying that.
Yeah.
I love that.
1971 MLB Commissioner Bowie Koo announces that Negro League players elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame to be given full membership in the museum.
Now, please, nobody attack us for accidentally saying this word on air, but this was what it was called. We are his history show. We are reporting on historical things. We are not being racist. This was an official name.
Oh, I misinterpret that. That's from the Negro League. They're now allowing them into the Major League Baseball. I misread that, and I'm going, holy cow, 1971.
They're getting rid of the segregation that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So, and this is around the same time as, the civil rights movements and all that stuff.
And that puts Satchel Paige in there, too.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Which he should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else we got
There's
here?
1972 first women FBI member sworn in, losing Lynn Rowley as Joan E. Pierce.
All right. So first
women
FBI members. So the first female feds.
Yep, I got it.
Which we have a female fed in our midst. Well, she's not part of the show today, but Ghost.
No.
We give her shit for being, because she did try to apply, to be to work with the FBI or something. Okay. But in the application, they were telling him that they were telling her if you're a field agent, and in the highly likely chance that you get caught, we will not, come and rescue you. So she's like, well, then I don't want the job.
Yeah. If you don't have my back, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. So, this goes well before our involvement in it. She was being called a Fed off of that pretense from other, because I found her through Shetty. Remember the psycho lady?
Yeah.
So it's from other communities before our involvement.
Yeah.
We just kind of adopted it into our own. So she will always. But
so that's the government at its best. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, there you go.
A famous term.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. 1972. I have a little bit of a rant to coincide with this, if you want to tell us.
Oh, what a surprise.
I'm the rant man.
And I haven't even read this yet. Or heard it read.
Yeah.
1972, just Minister of Argentina decides to ignore soft drug usage.
I think that's the Dutch Minister of Agriculture, or AGT.
Oh, okay.
Dutch Minister of AGT. What is
Oh,
AGT?
Dutch Minister, yeah, Argentina.
Of Argentina.
Argentina.
Oh, wait, no, that was his name. Dutch Minister of AGT. What?
Argentina. Dutch Minister of Argentina. The way I'm guessing.
Well, this is saying here, Andreas Antonius Margria Dries van Ocht was a Dutch politician. So that's his name, Ocht. So it's supposed to be Dutch Minister Ocht.
Dutch Minister
I
Ocht.
still don't know what the AGT is.
That's his name, Ocht.
Oh, Ott.
AGT
Oh, that's the way
is
it's pronounced.
his name. His name is Andreas Antonius Maria Dries van Ocht.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Dutch
Yeah.
Minister Ocht decided to ignore soft drug usage. And see, the rant I'm talking about is, instead of punishing people, who do drugs, be them hard, soft, whatever, kind of controlled substance, they obviously need help. Well, what they do in the Netherlands is, instead of throwing you in a freaking jail cell and leaving you to drop the soap, and get treated like an animal, they actually give you therapy. They give you the treatment you need to get you back in society. What a concept! Actually helping people, not punishment. What an idea! What an idea!
Well, he's choosing to ignore it, right?
Well, he's
soft drugs.
Ignore soft drug usage, but I believe this is.
That's kind of like the broken window theory.
Well, kind of, sort of, but like this kind of leads into like the energy, the idea. Like, yes, he's ignoring it, but I believe it might have fed into their how they handle drug users in that judicial system over there.
Okay.
Because as I said, here in the U.S., we just lock them up, we punish them, we throw them in, with the violent criminals and all that stuff, and then we breed violent criminals. We just make more violent criminals. Over there, they actually help them, So, yeah. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1973.
1973, 78 drown at flash flood sweeps a bus into a river in India.
Oh, jeez.
Yikes. And that kind of reminds me of that video we saw yesterday, kind of not same topic, but what was it? Was it Dave or Tyler Zed we were watching when they saw a tornado form and it picked up a car right in front of them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
That was wild. Yeah, there's a video. And let's see if I can find it.
I think it was a Dave.
Tornado?
Maybe Zed. I don't know.
Let's see if I can find it. Is that a tornado? Funny. I don't know. I'm not finding it. Well, anyway, there's a video out there, and they're inside a car. They're just driving, and they just see the very start of a tornado. They just see the visible winds and everything.
Yeah.
They're like, is that a tornado? Is that a tornado? And they pass it. And they're still filming it. And all of a sudden, a car from the parking lot is getting thrown.
Oh.
So they watched the very start of a tornado touchdown.
Gotcha.
That's scary. Like, you see a car 50 feet away, it doesn't get picked up, but it gets thrown.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just get, it got thrown a good 100 feet,
That's like the movie Twisters. Is
Yeah.
that a cow? There's another cow. No,
I think
it's
that's the same
one.
cow. I gotta call you back, Susie. We got cows. Yeah, well, we gotta. I'd like to go see Twisters. Like, I know it's kind of a meh, but like I'd like to go
out?
see it. Yeah, it's been out for a couple weeks. So, you got one more. Actually, you got two more 73s.
1973, all women board of directors takes control of ABBA's Kentucky Colonels.
All right, some kind of sports team. Okay. And what else?
1973, Shoelace Park in the Bronx named. Interesting name.
So, history of the tuxedo. So we all know about the tuxedo. You know?
Yeah.
Now, what people don't realize is Tuxedo, the full ensemble,
Yeah.
is named after another park, Tuxedo Park.
Oh, really?
Now, as far as I'm aware, what happened was they held a black tie event at Tuxedo Park, and then people came in, you know, like with new styles of suits, and then from that, the tuxedo was born. You know, from the attire of an event held at Tuxedo Park, and now they're called the Tuxedos.
Oh, be darned.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Neat.
yeah. 1974, Milwaukee's Don Money set MLB record for consecutive errorless games at third base, 78 in Brewers' 8-5 win versus the Twins. Wow, that's impressive. 1974, New Zealand imposed a blanket ban on sports teams from South Africa, I assume because of apartheid.
Yeah. Exactly
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 2 years later, in 1976, 119 women joined the Corps of Cadets, establishing the first class of women in U.S. military academy at West Point.
Whoa.
Hell yeah! So an entire class, not just, you know, a woman attending, no, now specifically an entire class. Nice. 1977, The Spy Who Loved Me, the 10th James Bond film starring Roger Moore and Barbara Bach, premiered in London. All right.
Sorry for Roger Moore fans, but he was my least favorite.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know why. Just never bought it.
Yeah. He was better than what we got today.
I don't even know who they have today.
It's some bald guy or something like.
Bald guy?
Yeah.
Can't be.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I thought it was a black lady now.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's that. Well, I saw somewhere that they're trying to have James Bond turn into a woman now, so they're gonna have like Jamette Bond or something.
Jean Bond.
Jean Bond. Thank you. But
I'm really out of touch.
Yeah. Modern James Bond. Let's see if I can. This. Oh, he's not bald. Never mind.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
This guy.
Him. Yeah.
He just has really short hair.
Yeah.
But to me, now I know the original James Bond, even before the franchise became a thing, was Sean Connery. He was the guy.
Oh, he's my guy.
It was developed. The character was developed around him.
Yeah. No, he is my guy.
But to me, my first introduction to James Bond was GoldenEye 007 on the N64.
Oh.
A video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, one of the greatest games of all time, arguably. You know, like
I get short round.
Short Round?
Yeah.
That's Indiana Jones.
No, fuck. What was this? Thinking of the wrong one there.
Yeah. What are you thinking of?
Short person in the James Bond video game.
The hat guy. Random Task or whatever his name.
I don't know. He sat lower than everybody else, so you had to shoot lower.
Yeah.
In order to hit him.
Hold on a second.
There was the Japanese guy, this little short guy, Odd Job.
Odd Job, thank you. That's what we're thinking about.
Odd Job, yeah.
Odd Job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odd Job.
That's why I said Random Task. That was the spin-off in the Austin Powers series. You know, Odd Job, Random Task.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So. What else do we got here? 1977, another one. Ooh, this is interesting. I wonder what the hell was going on here.
It's 12,000 police occupy university in Mexico City.
I didn't even realize they had 12,000 police in all of Mexico. Like, that's a lot of
Yeah.
police. Why the hell did they need an entire legion to occupy a university?
I don't know. That kind of scale, you think the federales would have come out?
Those are the federales. Like,
Well, it says police.
battle for Mexico City. Okay, what's going on here?
They had to be the federales.
Well, no, this is
I've never heard
1847.
him talk to his police. Always the federales.
No. This is 1847.
Oh, okay.
This is something else. Okay, here we go. What do we got? Oh, well, this is just from my source. All right. Well, somebody's gonna have to tell us in the comments section. Speaking of which, do we have any? We have no comments. Moving on up, we got some NBA here.
Hoorah.
1978 NBA approves franchise swap. Buffalo Braves owners John Y. Brown and Harry Mangarin acquire Boston Celtics, while the Celtics owner Irv Living gets Braves last move to San Diego to become the Clippers.
Yeah. Later
San Diego
moves.
Clippers, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the Clippers are now up here, right?
Right, LA, yeah.
So, I had no idea we'd be reading Clippers history today.
No.
I put this in here, but I forgot about it. You can't remember every article. You got 2 more. Your last one is not good, but yeah. 78.
78 Solomon Islands declares their independence from the United Kingdom and receives it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Once again, what I say, July is the month of independence.
Yeah.
Not just for the United States, but the whole world. So much stuff. So, I mean, Canada, July 1st, became a nation.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And here we go. 1980.
1980 Institution of Sharia Law in Iran.
Yep.
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 Yep. Yep.
Good boy.
That's when they overthrew the Shah.
Yep.
Thanks to Jimmy Carter.
The peanut farmer?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a brother who makes beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of a laughing joke.
That whole family is nutty.
Yeah. But what he convinced the Shah of Iran, to do was to ease up on human rights.
Wow.
And that got him overthrown. He eased up and
yeah. So he gave human rights.
Yeah, he eased up on the radicals.
Okay. So not ease up on human rights, more like implement human rights.
Yeah.
Because easing up on human rights suggests, taking them away. You're easing up on it. I'm going to ease up on this. I'm going to take them.
No, easing up, making less. Easing it would mean.
So he's taking rights away.
No, he's giving them rights. He's easing his power hand and crushing them and keeping in place.
So
he's loosening up. He's loosening up and giving them more human rights.
Okay.
And they took that and ran with it and eventually overthrew him.
Yeah. All right.
And then we got the Shah,
the Sharia law.
Yeah.
Yep. 1980 as well, Jim King completed riding the Miracle Strip roller coaster 368 hours. Like, people do this. Like, they get on the roller coaster, they say, obviously,
Why? Oh my god.
that makes me wonder, obviously he peed in a bottle, but, how did he crap? Did he just, crap over the side as it was moving? Look out below? I mean, yikes. So, 1980, the Safra massacre in Lebanon. We don't have any more information on that, so let me look that up here really quick. Safra massacre, or the Day of the Long Knives. That's interesting. The Long Knives is also referred to Hitler's thing. It occurred in the coastal town of Safra, north of Beirut. During the Lebanese Civil War as part of Bashir Gemayel's effort to consolidate all the Christian fighters under his leadership in the Lebanese forces. But let's see here. Does it tell me how many people died? 83 people died, roughly. So, more or less 83 people. Yikes. 1981, England cricket captain Ian Botham resigned after no wins in 12 matches under his reign and a pair in the second test versus Australia at Lord's. So he couldn't score for nothing. So he's spent, he's out.
Cricket.
So yeah. 81 as well, Sandra Day O'Connor nominated for the U.S. Supreme Court, the first female Supreme Court justice by President Ronald Reagan. Yep. And after her, we of course have RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
But even today, I've seen, they're trying to change history. I've seen news articles going on about how we have the first woman ever in what was this Supreme Court. It's no, that happened in 1981. Yeah. They're trying to write out Sandra Day O'Connor and deny RBG existed. They're trying to claim, this woman is the first one. No, she's the fifth, or whatever. They're trying to actively rewrite history in the news today. These days, I've seen news articles.
Say it enough times, and people will start to believe.
Yeah, well, I said 1,000 times becomes truth.
Yeah.
1981 as well, the solar-powered aircraft Solar Challenger successfully completed a 163-mile flight across the English Channel. And I think we've looked this up before. Solar Challenger. This is the aircraft, so it has to be this one here. So, yeah. Hey, we've looked at this. The entire the top is powered by solar.
Yeah.
It's an electric aircraft. Here's another one. That looks funky as hell. Solar Channel. So this is the one. So we have a couple solar. Hold on a second. Solar Challenger 1981. Give me the 1981 one. Okay, so it is this one. Come on, load. There we go. So yeah, 163 miles.
Go across the English Channel with any kind of weather that can creep up.
Yeah,
That little thing.
I am good. What do we got here in 1983?
83. 1983, 11-year-old Samantha Smith of Manchester, Maine, leaves for the USSR.
You have two articles in one.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, the Cold War. Samantha Smith, a U.S. schoolgirl, flew to the Soviet Union at the invitation of Secretary General Yuri Andropov.
Now, Lou,
Why?
do you remember this? Didn't she write a letter and then she got invited?
I'm not sure.
We're talking about Samantha Smith, an 11-year-old schoolgirl. I believe she wrote a letter to the Soviet Union or something, and then they wrote her back and invited her, and then this is when she actually went over there.
No, I don't.
But could you imagine being an
Okay.
11-year-old?
Yeah.
Let alone a schoolgirl. Schoolboy, schoolgirl, whatever. 11-year-old being invited to the Soviet Union by one of the head honchos.
Yeah.
That is whoa. What?
Yeah.
That's kind of like out of South Park when Kyle.
Like, my child did what? No, you can't go over there.
Yeah.
For her and her family, it's kind of surrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah. But remember from South Park when Kyle ended communism in Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1985. Oh yeah, it's your turn. Sorry. Go ahead.
1985, Boris Becker became the youngest male player to ever win Wimbledon at age 17.
Yeah,
Nice.
I remember that. Remember that well.
Some bragging rights.
Yeah. And one more.
Also, 1986, American athlete Jackie Joyner Kirsch sets world heptathlon record at 7,148 points in the inaugural Goodwill Games. And is that a lot of points? I don't know. What's a lot of points?
Well, it's a record, so yeah, I'd assume. But a heptathlon is a track and field combined events contest made up of 7 events. The name derives from the...
everything right.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
I don't remember this particularly, but she was well known for a lot of Olympic prowess she had, and gold medals and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, here we go. 1986.
1986, Soviet general and spy for the U.S. Dmitry Polyakov, arrested in retirement in Russia, executed 1988.
So this was a general and spy. Oh, for the U.S. Okay, so he was a Soviet general who was spying for the U.S.
Okay.
And then he was found and arrested while he was retired, and then executed 2 years later. Dang.
Why would you retire in Russia?
Because he's a Russian general.
Yeah, he was trying to keep a low profile, and because if he left, he could have been extradited.
Well, yeah, he retired obviously clean, and then something came up through the archives that found out what he was spying.
Whoopsies.
They're still going to execute you.
Yeah. Yep. 1987, or actually 1986, the Supreme Court struck down Graham-Rudman Deficient Reduction Law. What the hell is that? Balanced Budget Act. Okay. It was the first binding spending constraints on the federal budget. Oh, that's why it was struck down. It binded them.
Yeah.
After enactment, these acts were often referred to as the Graham-Rudman-Hollings 1 and Hollings 2. Yada, yada, yada. The acts aimed to cut the United States federal budget deficit. This deficit is the amount by which expenditures by the federal government exceeds its revenues each year and was at the time the largest in history in dollar terms. So that's why it got stuck down and limited their spending. No wonder. 1987, QNES clubs in men-only tradition voted to admit women. Yes.
Yeah.
100% agree with that. 1987 as well, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North began public testimony at the Iran-Contra hearing.
Yeah.
Big thing. Oh, and Stan Smith of American Dad, has a whole, song and dance routine involving Ollie North and his buried gold. So, 1988, Hungarian state funeral for composer Béla Bartók in Budapest, 42 years after his death, with his remains relocated from New York. All right. We got some space history here in 1988.
1988, Hungarian state funeral for the composer Béla Bartók in Budapest. Did you just read that? 42 years after his death? Alright.
Yeah.
1988, Soviet Union launches Phobos 1 to probe Martian moon. Unsuccessful. Oh, one pump.
Yeah. Yeah.
1988, U.S. performs nuclear tests at the Nevada test site.
Wow. All the way as early as, not early, but all the way as close as, 1988.
Yeah.
I was alive.
Yeah, I thought they'd shut that down by 1988. I'm surprised they had one that late.
Well, like, I'm not sure if I've shown you.
It would have been underground, but...
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've shown you the video of every nuke between 45 and 95.
You did. Now they get bigger and bigger and bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I would have assumed by 88 they would have been, primarily nuking out in the ocean and stuff. But you can't do an underground test underwater. So I guess you're right. So, although, what can you do with an underground test? Like, what's the point?
Make a big hole in the ground. I'll tell you that. It all sinks.
Yeah, I mean, but what information do you get out of that? The whole point of blowing up a nuclear bomb is to cause destruction. You're not going to bury it under a city and wait 40 years.
You find out, okay, I made this bomb. What kind of megaton is it actually going to blow?
Yeah.
So it gives you all kinds of information of the power of it. They're looking for the power of it.
Yeah. All right. We got some music history, 89 and 90.
1989 concert by Grateful Dead with Ruth Hornsby and The Range becomes final event at the JFK Stadium, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 6 days before the structure is condemned.
That's a yikes. Could you imagine going to a concert and then 6 days later, like, wait, what? The building I was in is now condemned?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, was it going to fall on me? Like, that's scary. And actually, I think we will be talking about...
Or did they say the people are going to condemn it? Come on, they got that planned. Let them have the concert, then we'll condemn it.
Yeah, did they hold it back?
When did they know?
That is concerning. I mean, money talks.
Yeah.
And, they'll be more than happy to risk, killing several hundred people in a collapse if they can make a couple $1,000,000. Really disgusting.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think we will be talking about a collapse that killed some people, actually, in a little bit here. But what else do we got here? 1990.
I think you ought to read that one.
1990 first three tenors concert featuring Placido Domingo, Jose Carreras, and Luciano Pavarotti at Bass of Caracalla in Rome. Recording becomes world's best-selling classical record.
Nice. Futurama Pavarotti. Every time I
I only know about Pavarotti because of Seinfeld and Futurama.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm trying to find the scene, Futurama Pavarotti, and where
being thrown through the air. Oh,
oh, yeah, like this.
You love that guy.
Yeah, no, you're thinking of Bocelli.
I thought it was Pablo Domingo.
No, Andrea Bocelli was Mom's favorite opera
okay.
singer.
Okay.
But Pavarotti is, of course, another opera singer.
Yeah, of course.
But I can't find it. But there's a quick scene in Futurama where Bender had, like, the head in a jar of Pavarotti. And, hold on a second. Futurama, Bender, Lucy Liu. Let's see if I can find it. That's just one of a... whatever. Actually, no. No, that's not
Bender
it.
throws Pavarotti.
Yeah, he throws Pavarotti. He goes like, oh, he screams in opera. So, anyway, 1990, one more. Sports.
1990, New Jersey's Devils signed Russian defenseman Vyacheslav Betosov and Sergei Starkovo to NHL contracts despite criticism they are taking the North American jobs.
They took our jobs!
Are they better than you? Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, this does, is food for thought. Like, you think about the NHL, they're comprised of people from this country, but what happens if a team recruits players from outside of country? Now you're denying a very, hard to get spots. Now people, the whole world,
when you talk about the NHL or the NBA,
yeah,
they are the premier leagues of the world.
Yeah.
Anybody comes there, if you're good enough, you're in.
Yeah.
If you start limiting
Best
how many foreigners can
job.
come, pretty soon you won't be the premier league of the world.
Yeah.
So no, open to all.
Yeah. I mean, hell,
I mean, the Europeans and the Chinese leagues and all that, they limit how many Americans you can have on your team.
Yeah.
And they're not even getting the top tier Americans, but they don't want to turn into a minor league American league, so they limit it. No, we don't want that.
Well, I'm trying
we want to be the best of the best.
I'm trying to remember the exact meme, but for lack of knowledge, I'm just going to say gymnastics. Like the U.S. gymnastics team is all Chinese. It's not exactly, it's some team, because the meme comes from during the Olympics, you have the Chinese team, which is of course all Chinese, versus the U.S. team, who are also all Chinese, because I just pulled gymnastics. I don't think it was gymnastics, but whatever the sport was,
I got what you're saying.
The Chinese are better than anybody else in that sport.
Yeah.
So
where their belt's smaller and things like that.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know if it was something involving mathematics or gaming or chess or gymnastics
but
or
now
whatever.
It's kind of crazy for the Olympics. Say you're not quite enough to make the American basketball team.
Yeah.
But if you have, and you're born here, a couple generations have been here, but if you have an Italian heritage, then you can go play for the Italians. What? That's really kind of diluting it.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You're not an Italian.
You want the best of the best. It doesn't matter what they are,
country.
where they're from. You want the best of the best.
Yeah.
Moving on up into 1992, after undergoing the traditional 5-year waiting procedure, Czech tennis star Ivan Lendl officially became a U.S. citizen.
Hey, good
all
for him.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
he's a good tennis player too.
I am all for immigrants.
Oh yeah.
If they do it right.
Yes.
I understand, you can't see borders from space, but you know what? Until we're all holding hands and singing Kumbaya, which is never going to happen, unfortunately,
not in our lifetime.
Unfortunately, people have to be compartmentalized. That's just how it has to be. It's really sad, but that's just the way things are.
Now,
if you can go from your compartment to another in the right procedures, I'm all for it. Otherwise, it's an invasion.
I think we need to modernize our system for allowing people to come in, but that's another subject. If you have
it's another subject. It does take years to get up.
It's crazy. We got to make
off
it far
that list,
better. We got to make it far better.
Yep.
It shouldn't take years.
No.
But at the same time,
you still have to have a process. We just have to make it better.
Yeah.
Yep. 1992, South Africa defeated Cameroon 1-0 in Durban in the first FIFA sanctioned match after nearly 20 years of international isolation, apartheid. Oh, South Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah, 92. We have another 92, and this is off the main source. I would like you to read this, King, because I'm pretty sure everyone here, you, King, myself, and the Loon, we're all in support of this bill.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. 1992, New York Court Appeals ruled that women have the same right as men to go topless in public.
Woo! Yeah.
Fully agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for women's rights. You know, especially if I get something out of it.
Equal chest rights.
Easy on the eyes.
Yeah. Oh, no, now I'm a misogynist. Oh. Okay.
And some men we should make cover up the tops.
Yes! like Bert Kreischer, put a shirt on, damn it. You know?
Oh my God.
Hey,
is
look at me,
anybody
I'm
thinking
fat.
funny yet? Hey,
I'm
watch me
fat
take
and
my
funny.
shirt off.
Laugh at me. I fought a bear. 96. Or 95, sorry.
1995, Memphis Mad Dog first CFL home game versus the BC Lions.
All right. Nice.
1996, Nelson Mandela steps down as president of South Africa.
All right. That was really cool. Like, really interesting, the story of Nelson Mandela. You know, becoming the president of the very country that, that subjugated him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Persecuted his ass. And then he led them. You know.
He fought it and conquered it.
And then, on top of that, on top of doing one of the craziest things any human, has ever done, there's an entire, phenomenon around him, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Which stems from people believing he died in prison, which he obviously didn't. But there is, maybe we did slip into another reality, Like, I don't know.
He broke the gatekeepers.
Yep. We got one more article before the next millennium here.
1997, Tower, Minnesota, temperature dips to 24 Fahrenheit. Oh.
Ooh! That's cold. In July?
In July? That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
24 degrees in July.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, it's summertime. Let's bring out our coats.
Yeah.
Like,
you know where my earmuffs are?
Like, what was the, what was that comedian? Like, talking about summer in Canada. Oh, it's summer. Fuck the wind.
Yeah, I do remember. I forget who that was.
Oh,
it's summer, yeah.
Comedian Captain Crunch. I think it was the guy. Yeah, it was this guy, K. Trevor Wilson, talking about
that for years.
Yeah, Captain Crunch. Yeah, anybody who's watching this, look this up. This is a great bit. I'd like to watch this after the show. It's hilarious. He talks about how Canada is getting screwed over in the Captain Crunch game. Oh. They have regular Captain Crunch because obviously.
Yeah.
All right. And then then they have the peanut butter Captain Crunch, and then they have the Crunch Berries. But only in the United States do we have Oops All Berries.
Yeah, Oops All Berries.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's all just Crunch
We're
Berries.
fat American slobs.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just like.
Or they probably don't have all marshmallow Lucky Charms.
I didn't even realize that was a thing.
That was the same bit
as
somewhere,
I'm sure.
the wind?
Yeah. Oh shit! The wind. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same bit here.
Okay.
Well,
we don't need to watch it now.
I'm trying to see if I can.
There's no way you're gonna tell.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, moving on up to the next millennium, 2001. In his first appearance at Daytona since the death of his father, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Dale Jr. won Pepsi 400, coming from 7th with 9 laps remaining to defeat teammate Michael Waltrip. Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that? You see cars crash into the wall and they're just a pile of rubble, and the guy gets out and walks away.
Yeah, the roll cage,
Yeah, everything's built in to protect him. this was hardly an accident. Hardly hurt the car. And he was killed. It's the craziest thing. If you ever see that, you go, that guy was killed? How did that happen?
Well, it was because, like, there's something involving, like, some restraint or something. Like,
I've forgotten now what it exactly is.
He whiplashed or something, yeah.
Something.
It was some menial thing.
It was just a freaky deal.
Yeah. Ever since then, there's been even more stringent...
I'm sure.
All right, yeah. Like,
and what a loss in the auto racing industry.
Yeah. Tragic.
Yeah.
2002, a scandal broke out in the United Kingdom with news reports accusing MI6 of sheltering Abu Qatada, supposed European Al-Qaeda leader. Well, of course, the government, wants to keep the problems that they promised to solve, so, they're going to keep feeding, the very quote-unquote enemies that they are saying that they're fighting against. So I'm not surprised if they were sheltering this guy. So... 2005, coordinated terrorist bomb blast strike London's public transport system during the morning rush hour, killing 52 and injuring an additional 700. There were 4 explosions and 4 of the bombers were killed. So, 2005, influenced by global live aid concerts, G8 leaders pledged to double 2004 levels of aid to Africa from $25 billion to $50 billion. By the year of 2010, and to drop the debt owed by 18 of the most heavily indebted poor countries. The results were mixed. So, I mean, you got to pay back what you owe, and if you just can't, well, you got to figure out something you owe, So, yeah. 2006, we got some Indians, Cleveland Indians. You want to tell us about some baseball here, good Sir King?
2006 Cleveland Indians first baseman Travis Hafner becomes first player in MLB history to hit 5 grand slams before the All-Star break when his homers off Baltimore Chris Benson.
I'm just imagining somebody walking into a Denny's with a baseball bat, just smashing the grand slams on the table. Ah!
Yeah.
He hit 5 grand slams.
Grand slam.
I mean, tell people you're a stoner without telling them that you're a stoner. Constantly talk about food when Grand Slam comes up, And here we go. Pope stuff.
Oh. Pope quote. 2007, Pope Benedict the 16th issues the apostolic letter Summorum Pontificum, removing restrictions on celebrating the old Tridentine Mass.
Okay, so he's giving some freedoms. That's nice.
I guess so.
Alright.
And
freedoms.
I'm going to take this next 2007 because I just really want to rattle off some names here. Worldwide charity concert event Live Earth took place at 12 venues on 7 continents. Unilaterally, all this stuff happening. Performers included Genesis, Keith Urban, Foo Fighters, John Lennon, Melissa Etheridge, Dave Matthews Band, The Police, Roger Waters, Madonna, Alicia Keys, Garth Brooks, Crowded House, Jack Johnson, Shakira, Soweto Gospel Choir, Angelique Kidjo, UB40, Jack Johnson, Linkin Park, Rihanna, Pharrell Williams, Yusuf Islam, Sarah Brightman, and Nunatak.
Good grief.
All these over. Yeah. They're not all in the same place, but they're all over the place at the same time.
Right.
So that's a hell of a lineup there. 2009. Hold on a second. I did not see this here. Oh, wow. I can't believe I almost missed over this. 2009. Memorial service was held for singer Michael Jackson at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Worldwide audience is estimated at over 2.5 billion people.
Wow.
Seeing performances by Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Jennifer Hudson, and Shaheen Jafar Ghali. I remember where I was exactly when I heard Michael Jackson died.
Oh, yeah.
Stunning.
I don't remember that, though. I don't remember that memorial.
When I first heard about it, you remember, the friend I used to have, when he lost his dog, and I was out trying to look for it, and you got mad at me for not coming back home, way back in the day.
I remember something about that, yeah.
I was at a neighbor's house, one of his friends, and I was over there, and
The news came out?
Yeah, and I was, like, the TV was on, like, oh, Michael Jackson is dead. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, almost vividly, like, I remember where I was when the towers fell. I remember where I was when Michael Jackson died, or at least when I heard about it. And I remember when I heard about George Carlin dying. I was in a car with Alyssa and her dad.
Oh, wow.
We were driving, and I'm not sure if it was the radio or if he told me, but I remember my reaction. Like, we were talking about or something, and then I think it was her dad said, "Oh yeah, George Carlin died today." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, one of those what? And then there's just silence because it was just like, like how do you respond to a complete and total shock?
Yeah.
Like yeah, George Carlin is dead. Like,
Man,
one of my all-time heroes.
I had that happen to me when Trevor Moore died.
Oh yeah, Trevor Moore, man.
Whitest kid you know.
Yeah, tragic.
He was so young, and it's just like I was just watching this podcast like a few days ago. What do you mean he's dead?
Yeah, he died. You remember how he died, King?
I think he got a little inebriated and fell off his balcony.
Yeah, he fell off and suffered, head trauma. He landed on his head from a 2-floor balcony and died on impact. But Trevor Moore, man, that's another one. Like, rest in peace.
So young.
Moving on up to 2011, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the last Harry Potter film, thank God, premiered in London. Alright, and now it's over. Good. We also have a roof of a stand in Del Grosh Vest Stadium in Enschede, which was under construction, collapsed, killing 1 and injuring an additional 14. So yeah, I was right. We were going to talk about destruction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got here in 2012?
2012, floods in the Krasnodar region. Russia kills 140 to 172 people.
Yep. And that's from 2 different sources. One source says 140 people. The other one says at least 172. So, yikes. What do you do?
It just fell over. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, so at least 140 to 172 plus. So, yeah, that's a lot of people lost to the flood there. So.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. 2014, Israel launches a, quote, counter-terrorist operation, end quote, dubbed Operation Protective Edge against Hamas in Gaza. How can you sit there and say you're defending when you're going on the offense? That's counter, that makes no sense. Once again, conqueror's nation, here we go. 2016, a deadlock in the battle for Aleppo broken when Russian airstrikes cut rebel access to the city. 250,000 people were put under siege. Yikes.
What is this now?
Battle of Aleppo. Russian airstrikes. So.
What the heck?
I don't know.
2016. I'm trying to think what the heck that is.
Well, this is during Obama's reign, before Trump came in and put a stop to all that.
Would that been when they were attacking Georgia or something?
Yes. Well, where is Aleppo? Let me see. Aleppo map. Let's see here. Aleppo, Syria.
Syria, oh.
Yeah. All right. So, whatever Russia was doing over there, they're screwing around. And, of course, Obama just lets it go because he's weak. So, 2016 in Dallas, Texas. Now, I want you to pay extremely close attention to this, okay? From our primary source, which is notoriously left.
Right.
In Dallas, Texas, a lone gunman shot and killed 5 police officers, wounding others during a protest march against fatal police shootings of African Americans. Okay, so this is during a demonstration against people shooting blacks, against police shooting blacks.
Right.
All right. Now, to coincide with what I said the other day, they don't name him, so obviously he's not white. Okay, and you and I had the whole banter. Well, you don't know that. Yeah, I kind of do. So from another source, we have ex-U.S. Army soldier Micah Xavier Johnson shot 14 policemen during an anti-police protest in downtown Texas, killing 5 of them. He was subsequently killed by a robot-delivered bomb. Now, before I show you, this guy, think about it, all right? We have a guy, now, we don't know, what he is, who he is, all that. Like from our main source,
Right.
we don't know anything.
No.
Okay? Other source
We know
tells
a little
us,
bit more.
his name, he used to be a soldier and everything,
Yeah.
but this is during something against police brutality towards the
Right,
black community.
Yeah.
Now, let's look up this guy. Micah Xavier Johnson. Oh, look at that! What a surprise! What a surprise! Not. So, yeah, more cases of black on black crime, and of course our leftist source is trying to bury it. So, yeah. Moving on up to 2017, the G20 Summit of World Leaders began in Hamburg, Germany, amid violent protests. And I remember hearing some things about G20 and all that stuff, that summit and whatnot.
Yeah.
2017, Tesla Motors produced its first mass-market car, the Model 3. All right. The Model 3. So this one.
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we have, the Cybertruck and all that crap. And,
The only successful electric car.
well, quote-unquote successful.
Economically successful.
Yeah.
Brand, I should say, not that car, but
I
that
still
brand.
want an Aptera. And like we were having a conversation about this yesterday, and let me bring up another picture of Aptera. You'd think, because the Aptera, came out in the early 2000s. There's a solar panel on the hood, there's a solar panel on the roof. Let's see here, top view. Top view. Why can't I type today? Come on, there we go. So this is the view from the top down, the entire thing, except for the windshield and a couple of.
Yeah.
But they even have solar panels. Like they put them in everywhere they can put them in.
Yeah.
Okay. You'd think that Tesla would have something like that. Oh no, they don't want you charging from the sun. They want you to put more strain on the grid. It's all part of the plan. Elon Musk is aiding in the destruction of this planet. Let's not forget, he wants to put a chip in your brain. He is not a man of the people. He is against you. 2017, United Nations Nuclear Weapon Ban Treaty adopted in New York without participation of nuclear countries. Well, that seems a little weird. How can you sit there and pass a treaty without, people there who are going to be supposed to obeying the treaty without having a say?
What a thought.
That's weird. 2019, Mississippi closed all of its beaches due to toxic algae bloom due to the flooding of the Mississippi River. Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. And welcome back, Sir King.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see here. 2019, you want to talk us about Nigeria?
2019, Nigeria, Africa's biggest economy, joins the African Continental Free Trade Area in an attempt to create world's largest free trade area.
Hell,
sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Free
Go
trade
Africa,
all the way, baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
Let the market handle it.
yep. 2021?
Hey, 2021, the biggest sandcastle at 21.16
Meters,
or
I believe.
69.4 feet in American units, using nearly 5,000 tons of sand, completed in Blokhus, Denmark.
All right, so world's biggest sandcastle in, let's see here, Blokhus, Denmark, biggest sandcastle. Let's see. Holy crap! What? They can't even fit the whole thing in the fridge. That is a sandcastle.
Good Lord.
You know what? I really wish luck to the waves to wash that away. That's not a sandcastle. That's a freaking monument. And there's fencing around it. I wonder if it's a permanent establishment now. Like, how do you keep it? But 5,000 tons of sand. 5,000 tons of sand. Like, here we go. If it loads. Just look at the size of that thing. That little black mark over there, that's a person.
Yeah.
Like, it's so big, you can... Holy shit, this castle is so big, it's almost as big as a real castle. You can go walk on the embattlements.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Walk around it. I don't know.
Oh well. So
how did they get it to congeal?
well, water, you know.
Yeah, but
weight, gravity.
I don't know.
Like,
it's beyond me.
yeah, I'm no sandcastle scientician. What else do we got here? Here we go. Still talking about this piece of crap, Boris Johnson.
Mr. Prime Minister Boris Johnson announces his resignation at Downing Street after pressure from a mass resignations from his
From his ministers, yeah.
From his ministers, yep. Bye-bye.
Boy, they thought he had one thing, he was completely another.
Yeah.
He had them buffaloed.
Yeah. Well, other people, you know, have certain people buffaloed still to this day.
True.
So, 2022, U.S. scientists began the search for dark matter with a device in a former gold mine in Leeds, South Dakota. All right. 2023, NASA beamed Ringo Starr's voice wishing, quote, peace and love, end quote, across the universe via the Deep Space Network in honor of his 83rd birthday.
Now that
is
cool.
awesome. Yeah, your voice being broadcasted out into space.
Wow.
That's awesome.
You're going to live forever.
Yeah. As long as the radio waves, you know, eventually they die out eventually, but yeah. We have 2 more articles today. King, you want to take them?
All right. The U.S. 2023 U.S. White House announces the last of its chemical weapons have been destroyed in eastern Kentucky as part of an international chemical weapons convention, ending a practice that began in World War I.
Over 100 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's the official stuff. I'm pretty sure they have even more of, you know, beyond
they have a
unfathomable
stockpile,
amount of chemical weapons that they're just not talking about. You know, they're just lying.
Those ones were going bad anyway. So they're like, hey, let's say we got rid of all of them.
Yeah. Yep.
2023 world's first robot human press conference takes place in Geneva, Switzerland, with reporters asking, "Will you rebel against humans?"
I'm really concerned why we didn't get the answer. So let's see here. Oh God, that's a robot.
We totally won't.
Conky,
who's the second turn? You turn your backs.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find where that question is so we can get an answer, but I'm not finding it. Well, if anybody can let us
nice
know.
To know what the answer was.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Why doesn't it tell us the answer? That's more concerning, you know, than a yes, because now it's just ominous. Now it's just hanging there, like so. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just here on Rumble and on YouTube. We're on BitChute and Odyssey and all other places. You know, go check out our link tree down there. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows. We have, you know, the Omni Coalition News Show every Friday. You know, weird on unusual, notable events, weather, and sports. Yeah, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. The Omni Coalition Show coming up tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. We're going to try to make it every Monday. The past couple of Mondays we missed it due to the lack of articles, but going to get back into the swing of things. The Omni Kitchen, you know, we'll get that going when it gets less hot at the end of the summer, so the kitchen is livable. And Einosh, reviewing movies to movie shows and animes and all that stuff, you know. But anyway, if you want to catch us live, if you're on the West Coast, it's 11 and 3 all for the Mountain 12 and 4. Watch us for more. Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, and East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I'm Alexander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And you, of course, are you viewer. Thank you once again for watching us. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!